one half goes to her neighbor. Now, after that's done, if her neighbor wants to quit claim his one half to her, that's up to the neighbor. But it's a process where she should hire an attorney to file a petition.
So that's what I'll tell her.
I mean,
That's the first step.
I don't feel like I should be doing that.
Right, no, I
As
agree.
city attorney, I don't,
Right, I just,
By the way, she had one at one time.
I didn't know what. the
yeah,
process
I just,
was.
yeah, it's a
So,
petition process to the council to vacate a public alley. And
Okay.
if we don't need it, don't have utilities in it, we don't need it, not gonna develop it, the council could, if they wanted to, after a public hearing, vacate it. And then it goes to one half to each of the owners, joining owners.
She called you. Okay. All right. Well, now I'll call this meeting to order, the Board of Public Works for the city of Huntingburg. Start with the pledge of allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let's pray. Dear Father God, thank you for those members that are here today, and thank you for their volunteerism and their commitment to the city. We ask now during this meeting that decisions they make here may be for the benefit of the citizens of Huntingburg. For these things, I ask in your son's name. Amen. Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion made.
I'll second.
Got a first, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Everybody had a chance to go through the claims? If so, take a motion to accept.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
Got a first and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Well, first thing up, we have actually Kenley, is going to come up and present, two special event applications. These are actually from the city, so.
Yeah. So we're gonna start the 555s again this year, the community fun runs. So I guess just asking for your guys' permission to, have those routes. All of the routes that we're proposing, I have spoke with Brad and Rusty, and they're good safety wise. And then basically it's just a fun run. Any community member, anybody can come, be involved, completely free. It's not too involved there. And then for the 250th event, it's kind of an extension of the June 555. So for the June 555, we're gonna ask that participants wear red, white, and blue. And then we're gonna hopefully market for 250 runners. And then all the runners will start at City Hall and then end the route at 4th Street. I'm asking to close 4th Street down for the June 12th event, just with movable barricades. So just that Friday night. I've talked to all the merchants, they're okay with it. And they are actually gonna help bring up a lot of the yard games, and seating and stuff. And then we've discussed potentially getting just somebody small to sing that evening, live music, so. Nothing too huge, but
You
This
can
game-
run if you want, but I'm gonna walk, so
yeah,
no problem.
but any questions?
This kind of ended just right around COVID time. I think last time that the city had it, it's not come back for a while. We just looked at more activities for the citizens to get active, and this was a good one. I think that was participated well in the past. Rusty Drew from the police department was on the planning committee, so taking safety in consideration and everything. So if you're okay with those, with the two applications, I would ask for a motion to approve, or if you have any questions of Kenley. Every walk is gonna be a little bit different. It's gonna start out at different locations, as you can see there. We'll have a couple starting at the senior center, 4th Street, as a starting point. I believe the Parks is the last one, City Park on 814. So.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have first and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Next we have long one here. Jason Stom has several things today. one of the discussions he and I have had, and there's been discussions among other cities on how we handle specialty signage, but we'll let you run your report. We'll go from there.
Yeah, anybody got questions on anything on the general report that was sent in? The pickleball court as of right now is scheduled to, the pickleball court and the parking lot is all set to be paved starting next Monday. Their weather cooperation should be done by Wednesday with that. Is their intent. Calcar Paving is doing that. So we've got that ready to go. Anything else on the?
Was that old concrete or new concrete you tore out at the senior center?
It was old concrete. It was
Okay.
basically, the entrance to the steps that went up into
Okay,
the event center or, the senior center. And what it was once they got everything done, this winter, we noticed that water was like ponding right there and sitting in front of the steps. So we got together and decided that the best solution to it was to take that concrete out and re-pour it so that we wouldn't have that issue moving forward.
And that would have been probably put in 25 years ago or whenever that
Yeah.
building was moved there.
Yeah.
okay.
Anything else on that? If not, we'll move on because there's nothing else. The mayor did talk about the specialty sign, thing. There's been some discussion throughout, different towns and cities about how they handle the special, advisory sign policy. Basically, what those specialty signs are is like, we have some in town that say, deaf child in area, blind child in area, those type of, signs, not regulatory signs, but they're specialty signs. Basically, the discussion that was going around in this email, was, do you allow those? And I think that's just something that this board needs to decide as to whether or not you want to continue to allow those to be put up. The biggest concern that I have with putting those up is the fact that once that child grows up, moves out of the area, we never find out about it, and the signs are still there. Some towns don't allow them. Am I correct there,
Yeah,
Mayor?
a lot of, most don't.
Right. So I think that's something that, and that's why the mayor had got with me and wanted to bring it before you guys as to how, I don't know if we need to adopt a policy on it or what the best solution is gonna be with it.
And there's some national organizations that deal with special needs children, things like that, saying that it actually can exasperate the situation, brings more, it causes more safety concerns because people start ignoring them, especially when you have them up all over,
Right.
in numerous locations. There's sometimes a child's still there and sometimes there isn't.
Are they putting up the signs themselves? Is that?
No,
No, we've been
no,
putting.
because every time I get a request, I come to
Oh,
you guys and
okay.
ask for you to give me permission to install them.
Okay,
But
We don't-
basically,
We don't have that many outstanding.
we probably, I think there may be 3 locations throughout town that have them right now.
My
you just-
direction would be is that we put a lot of thought into each one. I think we've pretty much
do we have a
just
current,
stamped them and moved it through there. We don't have a policy.
do we have a current request? Is that why
No,
this?
no.
No?
No, this was just something that I think got started through, there's a chain of emails through, like, I think it's through AIM.
Yeah,
Listen,
and normally, those requests start happening in the summertime when kids are more active, so trying to stay ahead of it. As those come in, we're gonna ask you to probably be more thoughtful and think about the other safety concerns regarding it, because there are some. We'll give you some material you can read and consider prior to making your decisions.
Okay.
It's not gonna be rubber stamped, let's put it that way. We shouldn't rubber stamp it.
So anyways, that was just something that we wanted to present to you guys, to be thinking about that. Next one on the list, I'll hand out the spring cleanup here's the price list for it. Talked to Paul with this. He was good with keeping it, it's the same as what it was, for the fall cleanup. The spring cleanup will be Thursday, April the 9th from 1 to 7, Friday, April the 11th from 1 to 7, and then Saturday, April 12th from 8 to 4. You see the price sheet there, nothing's changed off of it. Basically, the only thing I did was change the dates on it. So, anybody got questions on any of that? Otherwise, I think we just need to have approval to proceed with that, next week.
And the dates are wrong on the
Yeah,
top.
the dates are wrong.
You got 9,
Yeah.
11, 12.
Yeah, it's 9, 10, and 11.
Okay.
I just noticed that too, but yeah, it is next Thursday, Friday, Saturday, 9th, 10th, and 11th.
Questions about the prices. The intent is to give everybody an opportunity to clean up their properties. It's not there as a monetary, we don't want to lose money, but we don't, we're not out there. Obviously, we can't, use it as an income area too. So that's why the prices are where they're at. I think we raised the big tire prices last year. I think that's still pretty low.
The prices are, yeah, they're cheaper than most places to get rid of that stuff, so. If there's no questions on it, then I guess we just need approval to proceed with that.
I'll make the motion to proceed with the pricing.
We have a motion by Dan. I'll second. We have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, moving on then to the next item, VS Engineer is here to present options, and I think they give you a handout. I met with them and asked them to come give you a presentation on the options for 4th Street. We basically went over, when I met with them, we came up with as many options as what we basically could on it. So I'll just turn it over to them and let them do their part of this.
Jason, thanks for the time and, board members, appreciate y'all taking the time, to let me discuss these items with you. So the handout that I gave you, hopefully everybody's got a copy. If you don't, let me know. I've got 5 different alternatives there, just to kind of tell you what they are first. The first alternative is essentially, placing concrete aprons, so concrete below the existing pavers, at critical areas, so in front of stop signs, and then at US 231, we'd also have it on the opposing lane as well. We've done a calculation there, to the stopping distance is around 60 feet, so that's what we would propose on the stopping side of all of the lanes would be a concrete pad underneath the pavers there. That first option also includes pulling up all of the travel lane bricks, rebedding stone, compacting, and putting the pavers back down. So design line for that we would anticipate was regular maintenance, so re-stoning and compacting as needed. And then also replacing any chipped or damaged worn areas on a regular basis, exceeding 50 years, the life service of that. Try to lay out some different aspects. So from a safety aspect, because we've got pavers, any discontinuity with those could be a tripping hazard. So that's something to keep in mind. Have those out there now. From an aesthetics, it would keep the exact same aesthetic that you have today on 4th Street. Drainage, with those concrete aprons, we would be installing leak holes in them. So the existing drainage pattern where the stormwater would be able to, have permeability through the pavers, would be maintained. So that is a plus as well. And then constructability wise, we're thinking approximately 120 days, so 60 days on either side of the intersection. So that would be option one. Option two would be similar to that, but instead of just the apron being that 60 foot, we would be extending it over the entire length of the travel lane. So it would be concrete base, and then the pavers would go back on top of that. So the leaf holes would still be there, still have some permeability, wouldn't be exactly the same as what it is today, but that would still be maintained. The service life of that, again, exceeding 50 years would be with regular maintenance. It would keep the exact same aesthetic. I believe on the picture that you have there, the city of Evansville actually had a very similar situation with some differential settlement in some of the paver areas. And they went back, pulled the pavers, put the concrete base down, and then this is the final product that they had in that area on Walnut Street. So that kind of gives you an example of what they got there. The third option would be pulling the pavers all together and then putting down a hot mix asphalt pavement section area. So the pros is cost on this one. I do have cost estimate, and that cost estimate is purely for the pavement section only. That's not correcting anything else that we discussed previously. But just trying to give an apples to apples comparison on each one of these for you. So the cost would be the benefit. It is a smoother ride as well. So from a safety standpoint, you don't have to worry about people tripping, but keep in mind with asphalt and concrete headers, there's a potential that there would be separation there over time. So there would be a potential for some discontinuity between the asphalt and the concrete that it joins on the outside and on the inside. The aesthetics, obviously, we're not gonna be exactly the same as what we have out there today. And then the drainage. So the original 4th Street project had assumed that the permeability of the pavers would eventually go away, assuming it wouldn't be necessarily replaced and maintained for cleaning the stone. So the trench drain in the middle was designed such that no permeability in the pavers. So it can handle replacing with a non-permeable surface, if that makes sense. So design life for HMA typically around 30 years. And one aspect I forgot to mention on the first two is long-term, kind of if you have maintenance issues where you're digging things out, you have to trench through HMA, you're going to have a patch there. It's going to be noticeable. Through the first two options, you have the option to pull the pavers up, do your trench, and then replace the bedding or the concrete below, put the pavers back. It will look like nothing occurred. So with HMA, it's all the way to the surface. You're going to have that trench cut in perpetuity until it's resurfaced. The fourth option would be going with, it's similar to the HMA, but just replacing the pavers with concrete to the surface. So similar attributes to the HMA. It has a little bit longer lifespan or anticipated lifespan with regular maintenance. We're assuming around 50 years for that. Safety, we're actually ticking the box there that the HMA doesn't have, because the concrete would actually be doweled into the headers in all sides. So there would be continuity there where we wouldn't have to worry about that separating nearly as much as we would with HMA. That's kind of has a floating joint there. The aesthetic is not exactly the same as what we have out there today, but it's similar things would occur. So if you have utility cuts in there, you're going to have discolored concrete, similar to what you would see with an HMA section. And then the last option would be similar to that concrete option, but with a decorative stamp. So this one, again, concrete the whole way, decorative stamp on top. You're gonna have, regular maintenance with sealing that. So that would probably be an annual treatment, go with the stamped option. You can still, with the regular maintenance, you can still anticipate about a 50-year lifespan with that. And then similar issues with the HMA and the concrete with the stamped concrete as well, to where if you have a utility cut, it's gonna be very difficult to match that exact same stamp pattern through there. So you're gonna have some irregular paving surface there if you have utility cuts in the future. Any questions? And drainage is the same on those last three for the permeability of the travel lane pavers. All of the water would be going to the trench drain. Any questions from the board or?
Under the HMA and the concrete, you note that there's some accommodation would have to be made for the drainage of the parking areas that will remain pavers. Accommodation will need to be made to allow conveyance of subsurface stormwater for the parking lanes where the permeable system will remain.
Yeah, so, we would still have permeable, from the building edge to the parking. So I guess what we're getting at there is all of that would still be permeable, but from the header in would be impermeable for those areas. So all of that would be, impermeable coming directly to the trench drain.
So those parking areas would not drain to the trench area, they just permeate through the subsurface
Yes,
wall.
anything that didn't permeate through, that didn't have that permeability would have surface flow over the concrete and HMA into the trench drain.
And there's sufficient grade for that to occur.
Questions? I don't think, that, final decision needs to be made today. We need to move forward, but I think bringing the presentation here, bringing it in an open forum for discussion is what I have. I mean, I have, preferences. I mean, really, if I looked at all the options and as I looked through them, aesthetics was probably my least important thing, as we get into it, because we have other, the buildings themselves, the parking areas, the landscaping provide a lot of that aesthetics. And, I don't think it's made a big difference, where they've replaced all this in downtown. Brick streets are nice, and they bring up, you know, and Zionsville did a similar repacking of theirs. They didn't put concrete under theirs about 30 years ago, and it's still holding up. It's still doing well. So, I mean, it is possible. We wanted to go a little step further, because of acceleration and stopping and what was happening with the pushing of the pavers there, and want to give everybody every option. You know, original, you know, we also obviously here, anything that we would approve here, we would have to ensure that our council was in board, being able to appropriate the proper funds to make that happen. We do have endowment funds that would cover a portion of the cost, but it wouldn't cover the cost of some of the more expensive ones here. So that would have to come out of the city budget or another area. That money would have to be appropriated for that. So whatever method we end up with in the end, we're gonna have to, then go to the council for the appropriations.
Do they clean those bricks? Do they clean them when they take them up, those bricks?
Bricks.
Yeah. Cause I mean, they look kind of ugly now, you know. I'm just curious if they pressure wash them or do anything to them or just throw them back down.
I mean, depending on the nice thing about bricks is you do have two sides to the brick. So the sides that aren't, hit by the sun, you can always flip those over and, you get a little bit longer wear life out of those as well, wear surface. But generally speaking, you can, what we have proposed is essentially just, looking at all the bricks, and making sure there's no defects and no chipping, no cracking, anything like that. But
If you
what we're accounting for.
look at the overall look of that Fourth Street now compared to what it was in the beginning, not just the fact that it's sunken, but also the colors. Colors are gone. You lose that aesthetic over time of the color of the brick. No matter what you put in, they fade out. We have to replace some of the parking areas to distinguish some of the lines. We're gonna have to do those type of things, but,
You're right, that'll happen with any pavement section.
you do concrete, it'll have a different color. Asphalt, of course, be a different color. You know, I like the asphalt, option just because it was quick and easy and a long term. But you know, my biggest concern there is the separation between those different concrete at the drain area next to the parking area. And apron, you will get some separation there. Probably not a whole lot. It's a little bit different. It won't be much different than what you see next to a curb, you know, as you go around town where we have curbs. But there could be those small lines of separation.
I think if you, if you go back with just concrete and no brick, that's gonna look better if you have to dig up Fourth Street. You know, it's gonna be a little discolored, but I just can't feasibly see, you know, staying with the brick and putting concrete underneath the whole thing because that's another $300,000.
Basically, what you would have, if you did that option, excuse me, that option would be basically what's down at Market Street.
Yeah, so I just don't
That's
think,
basically what they did there. They poured concrete, then they have to lay a little thin layer of asphalt, because the bricks have to sit on the asphalt. So that's basically what they did at Market Street.
I mean, with as tight as money is everywhere, you know, I would hate to see spending an extra $300,000 just to keep the brick look.
Yeah, I mean, you're spending that money, you don't see any,
No.
it's all on the ground.
And, you know, I feel like having concrete in the driving lanes would be a lot easier to repair that versus having to try to repair the brick. Cause if you look out there now, it's hard to get the rock, get it, you know, it settles and then you got a hole and
There's no doubt that the easiest from our standpoint to repair would either be asphalt or regular concrete, not stamped and colored. The problem with the stamped and colored is, and like he alluded to was, you know, you'd obviously have to have the stamp, but the color match. You know, you talk to these concrete companies and they tell you all the time, it's very hard to match the color with different loads of concrete, yet alone years of, you know, some that's, you know, it may be out there 10 years before you have to do one. Now get that color to match, and the one's all sun faded already, you're gonna have that patch that's not, so.
Concrete's gotta be 30% more. You won't have the separation at the aprons. And you also get about 60% longer lifetime. You're going from 30 years to 50 years.
I think in the longevity, concrete will be cheaper than asphalt. If you're
Over the-
looking,
Over the life of the concrete, it's gonna be much cheaper.
I will say this, just keep in mind that if you go concrete or asphalt options, you have to keep in mind, look at First Street down there. You're gonna have crack sealing material, black lines or whatever in that. I'm just throwing that out there so that, you know what I'm saying? When it's done, it's gonna look pretty. But down the road, when it cracks and stuff,
Yeah, every pavement section is gonna have its regular maintenance. It's just,
Yeah.
some of them, like the bricks, you're gonna have to inspect. And
Yeah.
Like Jason's saying, with the concrete or asphalt, you're gonna have to seal them.
And frankly, I never understood the concept of trying to make a road look pretty anyway, but, you know, it's there to move traffic. We don't want it to look bad. Obviously, we want it to be safe, something we can clean snow. We can do our parades finally on there.
well, I think,
People can traverse. We can have, we can close the streets down, have parties that, you know, that we have our strolls where we have a level surface that's safe for people. That's the biggest thing. The whole aesthetic to me is probably number 10 on the list.
yeah, cause we can't even, they don't even wanna have a parade down there, you know.
So,
I feel like concrete with crack sealing would still look better than bricks that, you know, drop 3 inches.
I agree, but I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware that there,
We,
That's gonna be an off.
we are open to take, for you to make a proposal today or suggestion, you know, from a funding standpoint to move forward. But, I'm also giving you an option that we can go, because we do have to appropriate the funds, if we go over that 400,000 mark, really. We're gonna be pretty close. Been able to do that. And actually, you know, depending on when we do this, it could already be appropriated and so. You can take a motion or you can wait a month. I don't want to go past May personally.
How do you guys feel? Do you want to research it a little bit
Yeah,
more?
I'd like to wait till next month.
Mhm. I would just,
Okay.
you think,
I mean, I appreciate these guys doing this. I got
Absolutely,
together with
absolutely.
them and
Is
asked.
any
them
value in
basically
getting the
to put
merchants
this
involved, or is
together,
that just
give you
gonna
guys all
complicate
these
things?
options
Thank you.
so that you can see that, and then you've
I've
got
told them what
something to
we're doing.
base
I've
your
talked-
decision
met with
off
Mass
of.
State for the
It's not only
options
the
that we're
cost,
looking at.
but like they have this
So
all
we were
broken down
considering
as well.
today and not one of
And
them's here.
that's why I did that, was so that you could have all the facts
That
there to
speaks for
see
itself.
what you want to pursue.
So, yeah. I did give the merchants the update yesterday, so they had time to put their 2 cents in, but, not really much response. If we wait another month, that'll give them an opportunity here, realizing too, you know, that we need to take merchants in consideration, but
I
it's
agree.
not always the same merchants.
Right.
You know, and this is, definitely changed from where we were a long time ago. And, I did meet with them yesterday during the regular meeting, gave them an update and that we're gonna be meeting to discuss this. And I don't think any of them were able to make it, but, maybe next month they could. It's really gonna impact them the most probably during the construction. I don't think they're gonna lose sales between brick and concrete. You know, so it's. Or asphalt for that matter.
Any other questions, any of that?
Good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Let's, we'll bring it up. I think we should have another, we can actually do a Zoom or we can have another area. So if there's any areas of concerns, that the council has, or members they have, I'd suggest, I would like to have 2 members just maybe be in on a call, follow a call between now and May. Like to have 2 volunteers. We can't have more than 2 there. Obviously I can't be there if it's 2 of you, so, or we'd have a quorum. But if we can bring together a couple of you, I don't know if you have any volunteers.
You guys wanna do it?
Hmm.
You guys wanna do?
I can do it.
Go ahead.
I
Curly
can
and
do it.
Dustin will do it.
Curly and Dustin, okay.
Yeah.
We'll set up a follow-up call with your questions and concerns. You can pass them on to Curly and Dustin. We'll schedule that call and it'll be, we'll have Jason, the 2 of you, and VS on the call to look at, answer any questions that we have to prior to the May meeting.
Sounds great, appreciate it.
I'd really like to move it forward at the May meeting. That would be great.
I think that'll give us
We have a
enough
couple
time.
council members here too, so, you know, I think they feel the same thing. All right, thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
All right, moving on to the next item then, the roof bid. I know Curly and I had a good meeting with Brett Ship. Brett sends his apology and said that he's sorry he couldn't make it. He had a vacation planned. So was not able to attend today. But I think between Curly and I, we can probably answer any questions that, I shouldn't say any, but some, right, Curly?
Few of them.
If you have any questions on it, but, you know, obviously we need to move forward with this. We basically need to know what you guys, how you want to send it out for bid this time. I would like to get that decided today if we can, so that we can get it, go through the process of advertising it, accepting bids, opening bids, and then, you know, if it all worked out in a perfect world, we would possibly be able to to award it at the next meeting. Is there questions, comments, concerns on any of, how you would like to see us proceed with this?
I mean, I'd like to see all those three types of roof that we looked at. I'd like to see all of them bid,
Okay.
actually, you know, the
Do you, I
metal
guess my
roof.
question is, do we want three different options in one bid? Do we want alternates? You know, that's kind of where we have to decide how we want to bid that. I guess.
if you're just doing the alternate, I would assume you're gonna have to talk to those guys and tell them just to put in their specs, you
Right.
know, whatever
Yeah,
metal company's doing it.
Yeah.
To write, write their specs in with it.
Right, and that's kind of the way it was the last time with that, the alternate,
Yeah,
it
yeah.
said in there that they had to provide their specs, their details and all that.
Yeah,
So,
I think we just need to make sure they get them, B&A and Graber and those other guys that were down.
yeah.
Well, what's the base, bid gonna be for, what are the options and what's the base option gonna be? Options would be the TPO roof,
metal replacement
metal replacement.
and standing seam metal replacement.
And
And so
maybe
would
that
there be
spray-
one that's a base that this is the one we want you to bid on and then, but there's two other alternates that you can bid on? Is there a base and two alternates or what, how are you gonna set that up?
I'm not sure. I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
the
about
last
that
time we
part.
did the TPO as the base and we had two alternates.
One.
Well, we had one
We
alternate
had
with
one
metal. We're
alternate, it
adding,
was open to
we're adding the
multiple.
original alternate on, back
Right.
into it that we
Right.
had on the first time.
Uh,
Because we gotta make a decision now and move on with some. I think you'll.
Well, Curly brought that stuff to me and let me see that design. And I appreciated that because we had never seen any of that. We never seen any of the stuff that he had. We never seen any of that on that TPO roof.
No.
So, and I'm gonna, I'll be honest with you, I softened a little bit on it because of that. He explained, we went through them specs and that paperwork and how it works, and it's a little bit better. My only thing is financial responsibility part of this. I got a feeling that if we get R panel roof replacement, which would be very effective and would work on that roof, I have no. What if that's $50,000 cheaper? That's where my question's gonna lie in the long run, because I know we're leaning towards the TPO. We have been this whole time. What are we gonna do if we don't want that other roof, but it's $50,000 cheaper than a TPO roof?
Well, we accept the, not necessarily the cheapest bid, but the most responsive bid too, so. That one that responds to what our needs are there. So you can make an alternate decision maybe based upon it. Am I correct?
Yeah,
Phil?
particularly if
Attorney
Particularly if the
Harrison?
alternate, if you're taking bids on an alternate, you don't have to award any of the alternates. You don't have to award them. There should be a base bid that you want to bid on.
Okay,
And if you're going to award a bid on the base bid, then it's the lowest responsible and responsive bidder. But if you also authorize alternate bids, even though an alternate bid may be less than a base bid, you don't have to choose the alternate bid. And the other thing is you can choose any of the bids that meet your needs.
Okay.
There's some discretion there. As long as, you articulate the reason you're not choosing the lowest bid, lowest base bid. As long as you articulate the reason for it, and there's objective reasons for it, then you're okay.
There are several reasons that you can utilize to reject a
Mhm.
bid, so. Some of that's his performance.
We've
of the
never
company.
had, I mean, we've never had a really budget, proposed for this project either. So we're sitting here going, okay, should the council tell us what's the budget, or should they do it? Because we don't, I mean, we are concerned about the money, just like anybody else should be in this room. So
Yeah.
60,000.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I don't have, Tom here. I know we had looked at different sources, but, we couldn't possibly go over 400,000, I can tell you that. One bid we had was 780,000 or something like that.
right, if that standing seam him
Yeah.
the cramped roof, yeah.
It was bigger than a Cadillac, so it was a very, very expensive roof system. there's no need to go there, especially if you're looking at I mean, you can't expect most roofs to last more than 30 years, you know, some will last 50, but you're not gonna get much of a warranty after 30.
What about standing seam without doing that trim?
Well, that's,
That was the first bid.
No, that was
No.
crimped. That was a crimped and hemmed roof. That's
Hemmed
standing
roof.
seam. Yeah, that's why it was so expensive.
Right.
It had to
Which
be
one are you
machine,
talking about?
just a general standing seam roof. I got it on my house. It's just a locked together standing seam.
And
It's a,
correct me if I'm wrong here, Curly, but isn't that the one when we talked to Brett, that Brett said that a lot of companies won't warrant that if it's on a pitch less than
Yeah.
a 2-to-1?
and that's possible.
That could be, I can't remember that
I'm
one.
pretty sure that's what he said, because I think that got brought up in our
We
discussion.
might want
that
to check
day.
that because I know like
And I think he said most companies, that's made to go on houses with a
Right.
steeper pitch,
mhm.
and that roof doesn't have a.
and we know the
It
flex of
was
the
said
building
was,
is, it could, is as much as 4
Can you
inches
ask
at a
him that
time
again?
too. During winds and,
Yeah.
and every area that the
I'll,
flex.
I'll check with Brett on
Building
that, but
is-
I'm pretty sure that's what
Because
the,
two of
that deal, the question.
Two of the vendors were re-asking that question, and I thought that was the case, but I wasn't 100%. I kind of forgot.
I'll make a note to ask Brett about that.
Okay.
I think you want to eliminate that option if it's not,
Yeah,
If it's
they
not,
don't
yeah,
warrant it.
no,
not gonna be warranted.
otherwise I want it in there. Yeah, that's why, yeah.
And
And we need to know that pretty soon.
A lot of that goes back is that building's designed for 4-inch flats, so it does move up to 4 inches at a time. That's reason if it wasn't crimped, it could open up, so.
I don't know, you act like you could put it on there, so
Okay, yeah, well, get the warranty. Yeah.
that's
what
fine.
we-
Well,
I agree with.
I've been doing that on all of them.
So how do we want to, we want to make one of them, the main bid and then label the alternates that we want, or do we leave it open to them bid whatever alternate that they want to bid
With specs.
with specs?
So they just spec it themselves.
Mhm.
Okay.
I think,
That's
leave-
basically the way that we did it the last time.
I think leave it open, because then those guys that had that spray on product, they can
They can
bid too.
bid that.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you limit it by saying it has to be TPO as your standard bid and the other ones, then that only means only those other two can be bid. And like you said, Curly, then the guy with the spray on stuff, he can't even bid it
Right.
because it's not an option.
Right.
Okay.
So are we good with that?
Mhm.
Yep.
Okay. I will get with Brett. I'll find that answer out on that other roof, with the warranty part of it on the pitch.
Okay.
Run through me on the advertising part of this. How does that working? Does,
It has to be advertised 2 weeks in a row. And then you have to, basically, we allow them, I think it's usually like.
7 days after the last.
A week after the last advertisement to open.
okay, so how are our contractors getting this package? Or whatever? Are we sending
The
stuff
last
out?
time, Brett had a list of probably 15 people that he sent it to. And then the other ones, they put them in a Dodge report, which is where a lot of companies, they sit in their office and they look at this Dodge report. These engineers can tell you that. But they look at this Dodge report at all the upcoming projects, and then they click on that and then they see the plans and specs.
I would
So-
like to have an email of
Right.
those that receive this or where they're sent to as soon as it's done.
We did have discussion, Brett, there was one company said they didn't get anything, but they did click on the Dodge report, so we know they looked at it. So I said, this time hand deliver it and get it to them, so, a couple of ones that some members had kind of question about whether they had received or not, they're gonna hand deliver.
Yeah, there's 3 of them. I want to make sure we deliver it. I will or whatever, doesn't matter.
And I know Curtis was part of that, so we're gonna make sure that we did hand deliver them.
Mhm.
Okay, I'll move forward with that in that direction.
Thank you.
Any questions on that?
Thank you.
Okay, last thing on my list, the SS4A grant that we received, we talked about that a couple weeks ago or months ago. It has went to the council. The council did approve that. basically bringing it back to you guys for the last blessing of that. Nathan's here with Cash Wagner. He's been helping with that. If anybody has any questions on any of that, we can answer those. If not, I think it's all been approved and accepted.
That's the Veterans Parkway, right?
No,
No?
no, the SS4A is the Safe Streets for All grant
Oh, okay,
that
okay.
we applied for, got, and we've been working with Cash Wagner in devising the plan for that. I think it's that book that Justin's got.
Yeah.
So basically what that is the grant that we got was to establish that plan. Once we have that plan accepted, then we can move forward with coming up with projects for that.
Is that part of where, like, places that there are no sidewalks that that'll cover to build
We
brand
can-
new
we can
sidewalks?
Apply for grants through that to help with those.
This is a
It's
basically.
it's a wide variety of things that you can apply for. I actually worked with their grant writer and we applied for a grant through AARP to purchase it's basically, you've seen them before, the county's got one, those speed limit, they pull behind their car and it sits up and tells you how fast you're going. We have the two that we mount to poles, but we applied for a grant through AARP to buy one of those that you do pull. But it not only does the speed limit, it also gives you a report of traffic count and multiple things with it. So we did apply for one. So my point is, it covers a lot of things, anything that you can think of that's safety, whether it's lighting, the street lights, any of that stuff.
The intent of the grant is that all forms of transportation, whether they be walking, riding a bike, running, cars, that they all interact safely in the same environment. So that could be crossings, that could be specialty lanes or walking paths and all kinds of things. So Nathan wants to add to that.
So is there any action the board needs to take?
They would need a motion to accept the plan. They did the preliminary draft, that was presented last meeting. Council approved it and it comes back to this. With your approval, it opens up that projects that we have to address these issues will be eligible for federal funding. So that's the idea.
I'll make a motion to approve this.
I'll second.
We have first, second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Yeah, I will say that within the committee, we had a pretty expensive committee because we had our police, we had fire, we had school system, transportation director, we had a runner, we had a bicycle rider, we had a lot of different, we tried to cover every aspect that we could of people that utilize these streets and yeah.
All right, I think I'm done.
All right, thank you. I think even the surveys.
You
are-
were out of time anyway. If you're gonna
Police
respond to
Chief
Courtney,
Brad
that's-
Kramer.
That's my response.
Wrong, Brad.
What's that? Oh, yeah, I guess we better do Coomer first. I forget him. Overlook him. I don't know how. We have the storage building, the change order number 5. Okay.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Oh,
Any questions on the report?
Congratulations on your awards and
Thank you. One thing I do not have on there, I don't know if you
Cody.
remember. December, I went for a grant, for the wastewater for training, for Cody Masner. I did just submit January or yesterday, April 1st, first quarter for reimbursement. For 12 months, we get up to $55,000, $838. And then training, we get $4,250. So I did submit $15,416.16 will be getting back this first quarter. So I'll keep on doing that every quarter and get that done. 12 months grant we did receive. So that is coming. I'll keep you posted on that. Other than that, change order number 5. Sent out to all you guys and talked briefly, for a deduct of $6,761.69. I think there's 6 or 8 items on there. We went over and any questions on that. No, the big item on there was IT, obviously, because we did have a big deduct for concrete that we did in-house. A lot.
I'll make a motion to approve change order 5.
I'll second it.
Got a first and second on change order 5. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Glad you bring more deducts than you do adds, so it's change orders.
The next thing is the sludge storing building is complete. They did come in under budget. You've seen your claims. I did reach out to 3 different people to get a quote for putting a number 2 metal ceiling in that building. The cheapest was Davies County at $18,082.80. Guys approved to put a ceiling in that.
That was, yeah. This is a budgeted item. It's just, the low quote here.
This could be reimbursed if we have funds.
Yeah. So, yeah.
I'll make a motion to go with Davis County.
Got a
I'll
mo-
second that.
got a first and second to accept Davies County metal quote of $18,082.80. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Great.
It's about $11,000 savings.
Plant, Monday, Parsons coming, they should be here a couple of days to start the dry inspection. And what that consists of is basically they get in each cell. So we go down there, there's a lot of FMR piping in there, kind of does all the process. So they come in and do that dry inspection of each cell, make sure every nut and bolt and washer, everything is in place. So that will start Monday. Let you know how that gets done. And then the 20th, I believe we have training for UV. We're getting a whole list of dates scheduled for training with the guys and everything, get that going. Once the dry inspection goes, we'll probably do a wet test. Say that'll probably be next month. Keep it posted. But everything's moving along. If you go down there, there's a lot of stuff happening. The screening structure up top, they put in that yesterday. UV structure, I think they're gonna be starting in the next week or so. Get that set up over the UV and stuff like that. Hopefully we can get all the IT and computerized. They'll be coming in here shortly. Maximum will be to get everything automation set up. So it's been kind of a challenge here recently. Get to it. Any other questions? I believe on the 13th, the week of the 13th, we're gonna try to start on 8th Street doing that sewer replacement. And then we got 2 point repairs on Short Fourth we're due for street projects this year. See out in there.
Okay.
Any other questions?
All right. Thank you, Brad.
Thank you.
I will take the next Brad. I'm sorry.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Any questions on the report? Questions? Just some updates on what we've been doing here in the past month or so. We are still waiting on vehicle equipment that's been on back order for the Durango. Hopefully that's gonna come in either this Friday or the beginning of next week, so we can start getting that bill put together. The body worn renewal, that contract was signed. We just received all of our cameras, so we're updating all of those, that go on the body. We have 11 external and then 4 officers elected to go with the internal still. So if you see a camera hanging on the outside of a vest, that's just an updated camera. They're a lot easier to function, a lot fewer mistakes with whether you don't hit it or forget to turn it on or whatever, it's, you press and hold or press it twice and it turns on. The other one, there's some mix-ups in that one, so it's not always the best, but it's what they're used to. These new ones are nice. They give a wider camera angle, better quality of video, and a little bit better on the audio as well. So we're currently deploying them out this week. Had to get them all set up and ready to go if they are being issued out. And the last thing I've got is we did do a couple PR events this past month. Sky's the limit, always a big hit for our guys. They thoroughly enjoy that. And then the other day, we went and talked to the seniors, the senior citizens, and that's going to continue. I just did schedule another day in May. We've got another discussion next week, just over different topics that help them, so try to protect them. Any questions, concern? Awesome, thank you guys.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Heim is out today. His report is here. Nothing really, striking on there other than, just to let you know, the Fire Inspectors Association did, recognize the department as the Community Risk Reduction Educator of the Year Award. Normally that's given to what we call, full-time fire departments, not volunteer. It's very rare that you would see the level of commitment that they have to education and engagement with community to win that award. So I think the whole department needs to be committed for that. It was kind of a nice day. That day, that's when Cody Masner got his scholarship for his training. Brad got recognition as Operator of the Year that evening. Chief Heim went to Indianapolis where they won this award. He didn't tell anybody about it because he's afraid if he lost, he didn't want to come back and let us know that they didn't win. But there'll be other awards coming, I'm sure, with that department. They're making a lot of headway right now. Calls are pretty normal. Nothing's out of unusual there with run counts. So we're averaging about right around 30. We had 22 in March, so it was down a little bit from January and February. But EMS calls are were down slightly too from the prior 2 months, but those are the ones that cost us money. Those are the ones where we do pay people to respond to those EMS calls, and it's nice when they're down. But that has been something that's gone up over the last 2 years, and all over the county, EMS runs are up. It's just more emergency calls right now. So, any questions on the report? All right, Safety Director Andrea Brown.
Good morning. Does anyone have questions on the report?
Like to update them on our meeting yesterday that with Tom and
Yeah, we did decide on, we're making changes to the employee handbook, kind of overhauling that, updating some policies and just making it, more easily accessible to everyone, making it, it'll be easier to read, easier to interpret. So we decided on that company to go with, to help us with that. We'll be starting that project here soon. Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
and just so you know, we hopefully it looks like Mr. Lake will be out in the home here probably tomorrow or today or tomorrow, but they may let him out today so they don't have to mess with Good Friday there. I don't know. They maybe get tired of him, but Paul is recuperating well and probably ahead of schedule from what we originally thought with his health. So appreciate you do have his report there. So. Okay, so the Attorney Phil Schneider.
I have nothing.
Amy, do you have anything from the
No. we're
clerk's
good.
office? Do we have any other, board items? Nope. Do we have any citizen items?
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning, Mark.
Hello.
Morning.
A couple of questions, just some clarification. I appreciate BS being here, so I'll direct my, Jason, and you guys with Fourth Street and the mayor, whoever can answer. So your options, just wanted to clarify a couple things. Your options are driving lanes only, is that correct with the construction? Just the driving lanes? Yes. And then potentially the approaches as well? Stop sign approaches, 221 approach? If we, if.
For that first option,
And option number 2 as well, or no?
just concrete through the entire driving lane.
When you talked about regular maintenance for option 1 and 2, what does that look like? Did they give a price kind of tag with that, like a yearly price or?
Do not have. As far as the sort of options, you're inspecting the pavers for example, and then settlement that occurs, you need to look for pavers, put more bedding material, compact it, go through that regularly. That has the annual or the regular maintenance on option 1, option 2, you're essentially eliminating the aggregate beneath, so you're just looking for damaged pavers in that situation.
Is that like a yearly price we would pay, or is that just something, whatever it takes, it takes?
Do that.
There's no set prices.
Jason, through, like, handle to an extent.
Your experience with pavers, taking them up and down, do they place just the same? Is there, I mean, it's pretty easy, bring one straight up, one straight back down?
Generally speaking, yeah, they've got a machine, lifts them, puts them forward, and then you do it, put them back.
So that would be another tool that we would have to buy then, correct?
Oh, you mean for maintenance?
For the placement of bringing up the bricks, putting it back down on a yearly maintenance.
Usually if you're doing it internal forces, you'll have a stock of extra bricks and you may have to break the first one, pull it out, and then you pull them up depending on how big of an area it is. I thought you were referencing the project itself. Whenever the contractor comes and does the project themselves, they have a paving machine that will pull stuff out, but generally speaking, you'll do that by hand. As long as everything's nice and flush, they go back in pretty well.
We talked about like the discoloration of the bricks. The bricks have been down, correct me if I'm wrong, 8, 9 years is right now?
Yep.
I think so.
2019.
Yeah.
We're on year 7, yeah.
So you're saying
Year
year 7, we have a lot of discoloration, but we talk about the lifespan of option 1 and 2 being 50 years. Is that just the construction of the underneath, or is that the entirety of the project?
So the wear and surface of the brick, or the pavers, may be slightly, faded in color, but the integrity of them have not. So that's where, the option of turning them, you have a whole second lifespan out of these pavers.
You gave a packet to the board with options 1 through 5. Is that gonna be a public packet that we could get as well to review?
We'll enter that into the minutes so that, the attachments.
Be accessible within what, day or 2?
Yeah, Amy, that'll be probably a question for you.
Usually we don't release the minutes until they're approved at the following meeting.
He's just talking about this.
Yeah,
this
well, he
report.
said as an exhibit to the minutes.
Oh,
but,
I see.
Oh,
If you want
I
that
think you can
separately,
make-
you can just post it on the website of that packet alone.
That'd probably be a good idea.
I think, I see what you're saying. I thought that, I was gonna ask that question when we met separately, but the design life of alternate number 1 is a little bit misleading because it's not 50 years, because you're gonna have to dig up where the rock goes. That was, you beat me to my question I was gonna ask when we were in our separate meeting, but that is a little bit misleading. I know where you're going with that, because it's only gonna be another 5 to 7 years until you're gonna have to pull up the rock section again. And you're gonna have to spend another 300,000 or 400,000 probably.
My question with that you beat me to as
Yeah.
well, as a separate meeting. Is public gonna be invited to that separate meeting with the questions to be able to hear what's being asked and then answered?
That's just, my understanding is you're just gonna have an internal Zoom
Internal
meeting
committee.
with 2 members and the engineers. It's not a public meeting.
I don't think there's really gonna be anything to decide. I think it's just gonna be question and answer, isn't it, basically?
You can't design anything.
No, cause there's no quorum or nothing.
Nope. And when you mentioned 7 years, you're talking about pulling up individual or small sections of bricks, not the entire surface.
We're not saying that there's a set time on that. There's so many factors there you have to worry about with the loading of vehicles and the speed of vehicles, and how well the compaction was completed the first go around. All of that factors, and if you, typically speaking, every time that you have to rebed, the amount of deflection that you get is less and less each time you do that as well. So
I'm, because of the answer, that's why I'm leaning to not doing that, just so you know.
I'm not sure if the packet has this or not, obviously, I haven't seen it, but, you talked about 120 days for construction for option one. What is the, construction date look like for 2 through 5?
it's similar for all of them except for the HMA. HMA is typically maybe about half that, about 60 days. Given the fact they're just pulling it out, it's the concrete aspect that takes a little bit of time. You've got 28 days of your time to pick up the HMA, replace it, and drive on.
Yeah, I know no merchants are here, but just on their behalf, how would you, direct construction? Would it be one side at a time, one lane at a time?
It'd be one side at a time. The vehicular lanes would be closed, but pedestrian access would be open.
That's all I had for that. So it's really not, I guess I'm just still stuck on the 50-year lifespan. Other than the concrete HMA, there really is no lifespan. I guess you're just lifespanning the brick in itself and the integrity of the brick, not the construction of the project, not with sinking, settlement, things like that. That's all I have for that. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. I want to go to the roof option. Mayor, you had said we have 400,000 allocated for the roof. Is that correct?
We have nothing allocated this time. We have funds that we can pull from. The allocations have to come from the council. I can't make that allocation.
What do we anticipate having available as of right now? Because I think it is important, right? When we talk about making decisions, Dustin talked about it. Or Curly talked about how can we make a decision? We have no idea how much money we have even available. Are we putting the horse before, cart before the horse?
We have mentioned to the council and to this in our previous meeting that we had no more than 400,000 available to do the project. So. Comes out at 405, we're gonna look like liars because we'll probably come up with the 5, but that's really where we're at.
With the roof, Jason, are you guys doing any internal construction on your building as of now due to the roof leakage in your building? Internal construction is what? Just internal construction. Are you replacing walls, taking roofs out, anything like that? Internal? Some of the drywall removed, but we're not doing any construction now. Can I ask for what reason? Are we taking drywall and stuff like that out of the building? It's wet. It's wet. Does that mold? The air test said there was no mold. Has there been an IDH report of anything of any sorts, or we just removed just because it was wet? We removed because we felt that was the best option to do. So there's no black spores or anything like that located anywhere in the building? No, according to what the report was that we got. What about reporting to your eyes? Well, yeah, you can see stuff. What do you see?
Well, he's not a certified mold specialist, so
I see spots, but I don't know if it's mold. Okay.
I can tell you there's mold spores in this room right now.
I'm just, again, asking if there
so
was, so there's no mold.
They're in every
test.
room in the United States.
So there's no mold test done, so we don't know if there's mold or not, correct?
The ECS, it's gonna be out of Evansville. We brought them in and they went through and looked at everything, and where they found mold or what looked like mold, they went ahead, because we're gonna have to do it anyway, once we decide on what the roof. What we're doing with the roof, that was gonna have to come out anyway. So they went through and pulled it all out.
So
Last test was done, what, August or something?
It was done in March, and
March? Was it March?
we were gonna redo that.
Yeah.
and We talked to ECS, they came in and they said, don't, the company that did the prior air quality test said, just wait, so we had ECS come in, they ripped it all out, so we're scheduling another test probably in like 2 weeks. So an air quality test to go back through there now that we took out anything that looked like it was bad or mold or anything like that. So we pulled all that out. So then they said, let it settle and then we'll do another air quality test.
So I just want to be clear, there was indications that there was mold. That's the reason why the construction was being done.
Yes.
Okay. With no IAQ done, and an IAQ is an indoor air quality test.
We did that in April, yes.
Yes.
But whenever I talked to the company, they had done the previous air quality test. They said, don't do that first, rip it all out, because we're gonna have to do it anyway. And then we'll do the air quality test here in probably like 2 weeks or so. And then once all of that stuff's,
So we do have an IAQ report that I can pull.
yes, I think. you
That
got
was from
already.
last year,
Yes, we don't have anything yet,
as of right now.
but we will, he said,
In about 2 weeks.
like 2 to 3 weeks after, they finish up pulling everything out. So that should be like another 2 weeks.
Is he a certified industrial hygienist to make that call of not air quality testing before construction?
I felt like that was what he did for us before, so it made sense to pull it all out, because we're gonna have to do it anyway, and then we'll do another test.
So we're unsure of that, then correct? I'm just asking just for, like, let's say one of our employees gets sick, right?
I can
We're
pull
doing
I can ask him for his license and get it to you.
Thanks. That's all I have on that. Just to carry over to the SS4 grant, just want to clarify a couple things real quick. The grant, we did get the grant, right? I'm under the impression that we got the SS4 grant. Yeah. Okay, good deal. What does it entail? Like, how much is the grant? What's the match? What all does it entail? And will the public be able to get that packet that you, the board, received?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, well, that'll be on it'll be on our internet, on our website.
Could I ask what was accepted, what we accepted, what we got? I mean, the board member, or, public doesn't know, council doesn't know.
They all got packets and this packet.
You mean the amount of the grant? It's a
The amount of the
it was
grant
a
is
planning
up there.
grant.
It was a planning grant.
It's a planning grant.
Yeah,
So there was no,
to create this plan and this.
The next step, now that that's complete, apply for additional implementation grant for projects.
So we got the
And
grant.
this was, this
The
was just
grant paid
approved
for
today.
this.
The grant paid for that, right? Was there a match to it or just 100%, $5,000 grant? I mean, 80 to 100. Do you know what the cost was? Jason?
75, I think, what the grant was for.
Our match was about 13 to 15.
75,000?
Yeah.
And then we can make that available, I guess, Amy, would that be something that would go in the notes for next month, or we get that the following week after? Or would that be available relatively
For-
soon?
The plan,
This,
I think he said he can post the plan on the website.
Both
Yeah.
people's-
Kennedy will post that on the website for us under
Yeah.
the street department.
But basically a blank in there to update the adoption dates.
Yeah.
Hopefully the next week or that.
We'll have to list it as a draft for now until we get the signatures on there, right?
All right, that's all I got this morning. Thank you.
Right.
Appreciate it.
Any other items? And I'll take a motion to accept a motion to adjourn.
so moved. Second.
It's been first, second, all those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carries. I'm here at 9:43 PM.